it makes it fun, and it also opens up those lessons. Like, yeah, they say that you can learn something from anybody, right? You can learn just as much from the janitor as you can learn from the CEO.
Relationships bring learning experiences. Like any encounter can, like you said, can bring a learning experience. So yeah, that's very true.
With that being said, what have you learned from Durk? What is the biggest lesson you've taken away, within the short period of time?
To connect with your audience. That's super important. Not only to do music for yourself, but to also connect with others, because those are going to be the people who are going to ride with you and, show up for you and be there at shows and like CD signings and like, that sort of thing. So yeah, just to connect with your audience and your fans.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a very special guest signed to OTF. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sydny August. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man, it was kind of an adventure to get her here. I had to go into the comment sections.
Read my DMs. I'm in your DMs.
I had to resend the same DM, but, we made it happen. That's the part of being the host, right? Having to reach out to people. But I really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah,
and
thank you for having me.
Of course, I feel like it's going to be a really good conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Go ahead and give yourself a quick introduction.
Okay. Well, like I said, my name is Sydney, Chicago, born and raised, North Side. Been doing music pretty much as long as I can remember. Yeah, no, it's pretty fun to be able to meet different people, around the city. So I'm glad to be here and supporting you and Sad Boy Radio. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Finally got another North Sider over here, man. I've been going through the South Side. I was at Twisted the other day, and Kika, this DJ, he's like, yeah, the South Side, like, man, they don't have what you're doing, and like, we really appreciate it. I'm like, damn, I'm not even from the South Side, but I'll take it.
But I'll take it. Put on for the city for sure.
We got a lot we're gonna talk about, guys. Make sure you don't miss it. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna talk about Girls Weekend and how she got signed to Lil Durk. Purpose in life, man.
Oh man,
that's what we talked about. I always hit people with the question, what has been weighing on your mind heavily? And I feel like that's such a heavy question because a lot of people, it's a scary question to answer, to be honest, because here's this person you don't know at all, just like, tell me your deepest secret right now.
Spill it all.
Who hurt you type shit. It's complicated and everybody has a different answer.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my homies yesterday. We were at a hookah lounge and I asked them, I'm like, what do you want out of life? It's one of those questions that really weighs heavy on a lot of people, at least to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a deep thinker. I always think that there's a deeper meaning to everything. If somebody hits you up at this exact time on this exact day, that meant something.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, I feel like everyone says, oh, everything happens for a reason. But it's like, that's so true. Like, the universe has no coincidences. Like, the universe has a universal plan. Like, it's so wild. Like, this is meant to happen. Like, we're all here to kind of find our purpose in life, one, and while finding that, doing what we love. And I mean, okay, I don't know my purpose in life yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I believe that love is a main driver for me, like finding that thing that you love to do, because once you find that, it's like you're unstoppable, and once you have that, it's like that's where your joy is, and that's life. Like, love is life. So that's what I find most important in finding your purpose.
And that shows a lot in your music, for sure.
Oh yeah.
The topic of love. We're definitely gonna get into it more. What I wanted to ask you real quick was, well, you answered the first question. What do you believe is the purpose in life? But how do you feel like your purpose in life has changed throughout the course of, this musical journey? A good example I had was August Alsina, right? I don't know if you listen to August Alsina, but when he was first blowing up, he made this song called Rich, and he says, I want to be rich. I want a house on the hill and a boat by the lake. And most of all, I want to get paid. And now his life has really transitioned to just seeking peace and seeking being healthy. He's dealt with degenerative eye disease. He's dealt with his brother dying, his sister-in-law dying. So now he took in his 3 nieces as his own kids. So seeking that peace and health, and throughout that journey of life and that musical journey, it's like that purpose in life is going to change.
I think it is ever changing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, once they get something that they want, they're always going to want more. Like there's always more and more. And most of the time it's like a materialistic thing, but finding that peace, I feel like that's that real joy and spark to life. And I feel like that's only something that you can find yourself. Like you have to find it within yourself. You can't really find it outside or from like external places. So that, I mean, that's really interesting that you say that with August. I didn't know. I don't really know anything about it.
You just know the entanglements, don't you?
Oh, boy.
I took that example because I feel like you said, the purpose in life is ever changing, and your idea of what it's going to be is always going to change because of the different circumstances you face in life.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a crazy journey already, just being, what was it, 23?
I'm 24.
You're 24?
24.
My bad. 24, right? Being 24, you've already had a crazy journey.
Yeah.
And there's still so much more to go.
Like I said, like there's always more to achieve. Like you can never be satisfied, really. I mean, I guess it just depends on who you are and your perspective and, you know, where you are in life. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much more in this world that needs to be explored, needs to be like thought of, like needs to be talked about.
What's one of those things that you feel isn't talked about enough?
Oh, man. How important love is, and sharing love and showing love. I feel like that's one of the things that the world's lacking, that the city's lacking. Just love. That's literally the answer to a lot of our problems, you know?
And you talked about it in your interview with Vocalo, right? That you want to work with a lot more Chicago artists because a lot of people kind of stray away from that.
Yeah.
Your first introduction was working with a lot of Chicago artists, right?
Yeah.
I think in the article you talked about working with, I'm not sure if it was working with Saba.
Oh, no, I that would be crazy, though. No, I've never met him. I just, like, was introduced to him. It was probably 2016. That's when I was really, or maybe it was before that, 2015, around that time. That's when I was introduced to the music scene, like the underground, you know, Chicago scene, and getting to know all these artists, different genres, and just, like, kind of emerging into that show life and performance in front of, like, all these different artists. Yeah, I mean, Chicago, I feel like a lot of us are kind of straying away from helping each other or putting each other on and stuff. We're all kind of like, I'm gonna get it on my own, and that sort of mentality. So I feel like it's important to work together and help motivate people and bring each other together. You know?
What made you adopt that mentality, though? Because if that's the mentality that's already been established, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of the norm.
It might be like personal experience. I don't know. Like, I would like if someone helped me, so I like helping someone out, you know, like that sort of thing. So that's why I like to do what I can and definitely help put people on for sure. Because I would like that, you know, like reciprocation a little bit.
What is it you look for when you're going to work with somebody?
It's a good question.
You can put on the people that are smaller, but if they don't have that work ethic or they don't have anything to show for what they're doing.
Work ethic is important. Also, just like maintaining that energy and having a good energy and not only wanting to be put on just for like clout. Like, you have to bring some passion in there as well. Like, if I'm gonna have a session with someone, I like to have small sessions if I'm, you know, gonna record. So if I'm gonna be working with this person, like, I need to be able to feel something and be able to be open with someone and not like kind of closed off, because then my mindset is just gonna be like shut off because I don't feel that energy with that person. So it's important to have, you know, that what's the word, chemistry with someone, because that'll bring the creativity to a more like flowing state.
It makes it more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're in an environment where
It's not forced.
And you have to be vulnerable.
Especially with music. I mean, with my, well, I don't know, with my genre, like, I like to be vulnerable and deep or dig deep into those feelings of love and like, what am I really trying to say? How can I make you feel? How can I make you feel?
She be a sad boy for real.
Yeah, you know.
I wanted to come back to the idea of that perspective on how life changes, right? In your interview with Lemonade Stand, right?
Yeah.
In your interview with Lemonade Stand, you say, I want to see where my path takes me. That you didn't have like a real solid direction, right? That interview was over a year ago now.
It was a while ago, yeah.
So how has your mentality changed from when you said that?
I mean, I still agree with myself. You can try to schedule and plan a lot of your life, but like something's always going to come up. And I like to just take it day by day and see where the path takes me next. Like, as much as you can try to schedule something, like, not everything's gonna go your way. Like, you know, there's gonna be some obstacles to throw you off course, but you know, that's part of the process. Like, that's literally the universe, you know, doing its thing. Like, it's not always gonna be easy.
She said, I'm gonna write about it anyways.
I mean, you know, get some inspiration.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I've come to the realization that life is it's about the little things in life, right? It's about the simple things. Usher said it. It's the simple things in life you forget.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the most true statements. You really forget about the journey a lot of the time. You focus on the end result and you get the end result.
And then you expect so much more. Like, yeah, that's a whole other mentality that I try not to have. Like, I don't want to have like expectations. Like, if I'm going into a situation, I don't really want to expect one thing, because then I could just ruin it could just throw me off. Like, just expecting something and then it's not how you turned out, and then you're sitting there feeling all blech.
What's one of those situations that's happened to you?
So as an independent artist, like, you have the freedom to do something like your way, and then you're expecting like, oh, this is the one, this is that hit, this is that song, and you have all that belief, and then once it's out, it's like the numbers aren't there. I don't know, it's probably
it's a good example from an artist standpoint, right? Because not everybody's gonna understand that situation, and that's the situation with a lot of things. I was explaining to my friends yesterday, once you get to a certain point, people start to, like, yes, you want people to know you for what you do, but you also want them to know you for the person you are, right? And they didn't really understand that. They're like, oh, well, you want people to know you. You want to be big, don't you? So why does it matter if they know who you are?
But that's like, personality is important now. Come on.
But as people who don't create, they don't understand that.
You just look at they just see a whole surface, like a surface level.
You just see it as, oh, you're going to be big. You're going to have this, and that. But what about those intimate connections that you lose throughout the way because you've isolated yourself?
That's true.
And those new people that come into your life, they don't care about who you are. Yeah. They care about what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
The one question I wanted to ask you was, who hurt you, bro? That whole album, that whole Miss August album, it definitely sounds like you were going through it.
Man, not the projects before that. I have some hurtful stuff before Miss August. I feel like Miss August, I mean, it also is kind of a balance, I guess. Like, it has that love and then hurtful stuff, but tune into my other stuff, because that's some real sad boy radio.
I'm going to definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I went back to the first full-length album. I checked out, How Does It Feel, obviously, your latest song, but I really focused in on the Miss August album, and even the song was Be My Lover, right? You say, let me get this out. I feel like you don't love me. I try to let you know, but you just ignore me.
Yeah.
And then you go on with the second part of that. if you're comfortable, go ahead and talk about that situation and what inspired really a lot of the songs on that album, because it sounds like it's a similar situation for most of the songs.
That's interesting. No, I actually produced that one. Yeah, no, I feel like not only can I get inspired by my situations, I can also get inspired from external relationships and situations. So I was talking to someone and they were just expressing like how they feel in that relationship, and I'm like, wow, like that, like I can feel that, like, and I'm like, I am an artist. So I was like, cause like after transferring all that energy, I'm like, dang, like I need to get that out, like just that feeling weighing over me, and that relationship that I had with that person, like that's a special bond that I have with that person. So hearing that come from them, it's like knowing that you feel this way, like that hurts me. So I just took that situation and took that perspective, and that's the song that I came with.
And then there was the other one, Bang.
That's an interesting one. I was kind of doing a little bit of wordplay, which I feel like might have been not like the first time that I've done something like that, but off the top of my head, the first time that I kind of did some wordplay in the hook. I'm not gonna like sing it all right now, but you can go listen to it.
You gotta do the freestyle or give us a verse.
Nope. I feel like also instrumentals can put you in that sort of mood and inspire what you write. So I think with that one, it was kind of like it had this beat that it looks like this. This is what it sounds like. But it was kind of like mysterious. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that song. I don't know. I don't really like to explain my songs.
How?
Because if you're listening to it, like, it can resonate with everyone differently. And I'm like, I just kind of made it just to get myself, I don't know, just like kind of get it out my head, like get it out of my feels and just express it, essentially, like therapy. Like I'm just getting it out. Now I'm onto the next feeling.
That's one of my favorite things when I talk to an artist, right? Is understanding the story behind the song. But it's one of those things that it's like when you have to go into detail about it, it's like, never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, because all the songs are inspired by like a particular event or situation, whatever. And like, I don't know, sometimes I don't like to recall, those situations, or I'm in like such a better place now from when I made that song. So it's like thinking about like putting myself back into that time. It's like, I don't even want to put my energy into that.
I mean, that was 2 years ago. So
it was a while ago. So
forever and a half ago.
Yeah.
So then let's talk about your newest song, right? How does it feel, since that's more so where it seems you're at now?
So I created that song in Atlanta. It was a fun session. It was like towards the end of the night. There were 4 producers that pulled through. Dre, Xeris, Soulful, and Bezo. And they all collaborated on the song. I stepped out for a little bit, and that guitar, that when I came back in the studio, that was the first thing I heard, and I was like, ooh, that's a hit. And so there was a songwriter that I worked with. His name's Jason, and it was cool because he opened me up to a whole different process with creating and recording. He went into the booth and kind of like freestyled in a sense, but with melodies, and it's the method that I kind of go to now that I get into my sessions. Like I'll go into the booth and kind of freestyle some melodies and then come out and then put some words to it. So I kind of adopted that from Jason. So yeah, he came up with the hook and kind of mumbled some melodies here and there, and then when I got back to Chicago, I recorded it in my room and sent it to Castle, and he mixed it, and that was that. So it was a giant collaborative process, like a lot of the songs that I make. So it was cool seeing the different processes in Atlanta and kind of adopting that for out here. So it was fun. It was real fun. They're real collaborative in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, really. Like,
How so?
these sessions, like, one guy will be on the computer with their headphones, like, cooking, and then this guy over here, he's, like, in the session, like, actually working on what's being done in the studio, and then just, like, on to the next. They're just, like, they're real quick, and, like, they get things done, and so it was inspiring, just seeing that, and I'm blessed to have that experience, and being able to bring my team out there as well and experience that.
How do you feel like that experience helped you grow as an artist?
Yeah, no, it was definitely eye-opening. I think that it helped me grow as an artist to how I record and how I approach sessions. Just because the fast-paced environment, like, I like to take my time and, really cultivate what I'm saying. But getting sessions, like, we're just quick to produce something and then lay something down. Whether we finish it or not, like, we're then on to the next song. So I feel like I kind of learned that from Atlanta. But if I'm recording in my room, like, I take my time. Like, I'm going to finish that song in, like, a couple hours and, like, do all my layering, all my harmonies. Like, I do all that in one sitting. So it's definitely different recording in my room versus being at Coda or, like, in the studio with other people.
Explain that process for a singer. With a rapper, it's kind of easier, right?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
They lay their verse, then they do the in and outs and, the ad-libs. Yeah. That's about it. With singers, you got to do all the layering, the harmonies.
Depending on, like, what type of singer or artist or genre you're trying to do. Like, for me with R&B, like, just listening to R&B, you have a lot of harmonies and a lot of, like, background vocals that can act as instruments to help kind of make the song sound full. So, and I just, like, sonically, I just like how that sounds. Like, it sounds complete. Like, so when I'm in my room, I like to, add doubles. So I do, like, probably four doubles, and then depending on what part of the song I'm at. I'm so bad at explaining. And then, like, adding harmonies. Harmonies are my favorite. You gotta pan them. I like to pan them so that they kind of come from all directions. What else do I like to do? Oh, yeah, ad-libs, like, pocket vocals. Those are cool. Like, if I'm doing kind of like a echo effect, like repeating a line from, like, the verse or whatever, not slowly, like, in that pocket. I don't know. It's just, like, fun. It's like experimenting, like, just trying stuff out. It's a fun process.
It's completely different.
It's so different from rappers. Yeah.
This should be blowing my mind when I'm sitting there listening to, like, a song like yours. I'm like, damn, you know how much time this shit took?
Yeah. I mean, it's a process. But I love doing it. Like, it's that journey, and you literally are doing the journey, so you gotta love what you do, your creative process.
Do you feel like you genuinely love what you do?
I do love what I do. It is quicker when I do it myself because I have a vision in my head, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna do the pocket vocals there, I'm gonna do the harmonies here, blah 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 blah. And that's fun to me. Like, creating it is fun to me. And then the outcome, like we were talking about earlier, like, that's something else. Like, you can't be fixed or, like, set on the outcome.
You're like a very go with the flow type person.
I don't know what, like, triggered me to be like this, but yes, I am.
One thing you did mention in the Lemonade Stand interview was that you felt like Miss August was the closing of a chapter for you.
Mm.
So go ahead and explain that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think what I meant by that was the first full-length, like, album. I consider that, like, my first debut album in my independent career. And before signing, I felt like that sort of closed the chapter. That album closed the chapter to, like, that independence in that time because of this new opportunity that had came up. So, yeah, I mean, I stick by that. I feel like in life you're gonna come or pass through different chapters, and that's just how I was feeling and still feel from that time. Yeah.
So looking back on that moment, how do you feel about that?
Just like,
That time in your life, kind of, obviously you said it was kind of, it's one of those things that you don't want to put yourself back in that situation. But I feel like when you close chapters in your life, it's such a pivotal moment that you're always going to remember that feeling, even once it's, 20 years later, maybe.
I feel like it was also just closing the chapter because that was my last year of college. And so creating that album was during the time when the pandemic kind of hit, and it was just a whole bunch of changes and shifts. And but I mean, musically, like, that just closed the chapter to like that era of independence, because just the opportunities that came after that. And then graduation, I mean, like, that was cool and all. Graduating in my living room.
It was just a little cool,
Yeah, I got that little degree or whatever.
So then with OTF, go ahead and talk about how the opportunity came about. I know you said that it was like you posted a story and Lil Durk reached out.
I was on campus, so I was in Kansas. It was my birthday. And, on your birthday, your friends are going to post videos of you and pictures. And so Castle, my engineer, shout out Castle, he posted a video of me like rapping some Durk song. And so I reposted and I tag him, and of course he sees it. And then he like reached out to me, he DM'd me, asked if I was signed, and he was really liking my music. And I was like, no, I'm not signed, I'm independent. And I mean, that's just sort of how it started.
So then what was the process like to get to that part of being signed? Because obviously it didn't happen overnight, right?
No.
And you explained that you like to have that chemistry before you even, take that next step with other artists.
Yeah, it took a while. I mean, but that's part of the process. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to get experience. You have to go through things, kind of reach different milestones. But yeah, no, I appreciated it because just as a Chicago artist, like, and him being a Chicago artist, and knowing his journey, I was like definitely speechless. I mean, it's still kind of crazy to think about. I am the only female artist on OTF, which a lot of people probably wouldn't expect, let alone an R&B singer. Like, who's this chick? But I don't know. I just see it as like Chicago artist, even though it might be kind of deeper than that. I don't know. I'm grateful though, because I'm still on my journey to wherever the universe is taking me, this path stuff like we talked about. I don't know. I feel like this is just another opportunity on my musical journey.
What was it like working with him on Love You?
Yeah, he texted me the song with the open verse, and I mean, as soon as I heard the instrumental, I was like, ooh, I can feel that. So it's funny because, let me think. I wrote the verse probably like twice, like 2 or 3 different versions, and then I recorded it in my room and then sent it back to him. And then they like flew me out to Atlanta because it didn't make the cut. So got a session with Jason, who helped write How Does It Feel? And we kind of just chopped it up and like we talked. And we came up with the verse from what we were talking about, and Durk liked that verse, so that's what we came up with. So yeah, it was unexpected though, because I didn't know it was gonna be on the deluxe until like closer to the release date. So I was like, ooh, this is surreal. Like, whoa, I'm on a Durk Deluxe album, no big deal. Like, we got Lil Baby on there. Like, it was crazy. Like, it's still surreal, but I'm blessed. So
I get this like feeling from you that you feel like you still have a lot to prove.
I'm glad
I'm getting
you're
those vibes a
receptive,
lot right
man.
now.
I got a lot. Yeah, no, it's just like, man, my team and I, we've been working we've been working a lot. So we're just, going with the journey and seeing where it takes us. And I don't know. I'm just blessed to be able to be working with the people that I am, because we all have something to prove and we all bring something different to the table. And I'm excited to see what's in store for us, and just, I'm excited for the journey.
What is that chip that you feel you have on your shoulder?
You see a chip on my shoulder? No. No, I don't know. I'm just very confident in myself and what I can bring to the world musically, and I don't know, as a person, I guess. I love music, and I love the feelings that it can bring, and the love you can get from it, and I just want to share that. And also, like, meet people who also share that passion, and get to know them and work with them, and just learn from different people, like their processes and stuff. Yeah.
I definitely feel like that's the most important thing, is working with people who are just as passionate about what they do as you are, right?
It makes it fun, yeah.
It makes it fun, and it also opens up those lessons. Like, yeah, they say that you can learn something from anybody, right? You can learn just as much from the janitor as you can learn from the CEO.
Relationships bring learning experiences. Like, any encounter can, like you said, can bring a learning experience. So yeah, that's very true.
With that being said, what have you learned from Durk? What is the biggest lesson you've taken away, within the short period of time?
To connect with your audience. That's super important. Not only to do music for yourself, but to also connect with others, because those are going to be the people who are going to ride with you and, show up for you and be there at shows and, like, CD signings and, like, that sort of thing. So yeah, just to connect with your audience and your fans.
You make love songs and heartbreak songs, so definitely everybody's connected.
Everyone's gonna be feeling a little bit, yeah.
That's about all the questions I had for you, honestly.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thank you for picking my brain. I needed this.
Of course. No, I really appreciate it. I think that the conversation was really smooth, and you were very open. I appreciate it, because I think that it's a very hard thing for people to do, just be able to have that conversation, especially when the questions aren't necessarily the most comfortable questions,
Yes, sir.
Took you back to the heartbreak season.
You really took me there, man. But it's fine. It's life, huh?
Hey, those are your experiences, and those experiences make you who you are.
Exactly. Love that. I'm with you.
This is what I wanted to close out with. I didn't want to talk too much about OTF, just because, this is about you.
It's about me, man. Who's this? That's me.
The last question I do want to close out with then is, because, you are signed. What does that mean for you? What does OTF stand for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's definitely a shift in business wise. But artistry, like the creation, I don't think it really changed that process. I think it opened up opportunities for me to work with artists that I would have never known or have been, like, just like travel wise, like going to Atlanta, going to LA, shooting videos, and, meeting all these dope people and creatives. Like, I think that they definitely opened a door for me. And I'm just excited to put out this music that we've been stacking up on, and for you to hear it and all that.
We're waiting on it.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and plug it real quick. Go ahead and let them know what you're up to.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you don't know me by now, like, I'm Sydny August. You can follow me on all socials. Maybe follow me on TikTok. I might be posting a little bit more, but we don't know.
Do her challenge.
Yeah, do my challenge. Come on, come with the verse. But I got music on the way. I got some projects I'm working on and videos. So stay tuned. SydnyAugust.com. you can find me there, and I'll see you there.
Thank you once again
Thank
for coming through. That's going to be it today, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.